What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are well aware, as the NBA season is very close to beginning, we are about to see a lot from what these rookies have to offer. And today, I want to draw my attention to the player that got selected first overall to the Dallas Mavericks in Cooper Flagg. I want to talk about expectations, because I think at the end of the day, it's easy to suggest one way or another what should happen in relation to Cooper Flagg. And at the end of the day, I don't think there are many people in the world today that truly sees him failing in this current situation that he's in with the Dallas Mavericks. But with that being said, what type of season will he have? Will he be groundbreaking, revolutionary, or will he be, I guess, maybe even a little bit mediocre, maybe a little bit disappointing, depending on what your expectations are? With that being said, let's dive into the world of these rookies, and more specifically, let's take a look at Cooper Flagg and what are my expectations of him. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know what you guys think about Cooper Flagg and your expectations of this young man coming in to the NBA for his very first season. So, the big thing about Cooper Flagg is people have basically crowned him in many ways as one of the best rookies we have seen in recent history already. And that is where the attention really brings a lot of eyes. That attention that he's gotten well before he played an NBA game is going to speak volumes. So I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to walk into the current NBA season and expect Cooper Flagg to just dominate from the very get-go, to be the main guy, to be the guy that carries the Dallas Mavericks to victories each and every single night. Where we know in reality that's not always the case. Unfortunately, with rookies, there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, and there is going to be a little bit of a welcome to the league sort of moment. I guess the prime example here, a lot of hype came to Lonzo Ball when he first came into the league. Everybody thought he was going to be the next best thing. He had like a TV show. He had the big baller brand and all that sort of thing around him. He was hyped to the moon and back. He got selected for the Lakers, and that very first game he played against the Clippers, he got a little bit humbled there. He had his welcome to the league sort of moment. And yes, he did very well adjust from that. He became a very good player in this league. Cooper Flagg might have that welcome to the league sort of moment where that hype kind of gets shut down early, and then he needs to build himself up again from that sort of situation. I could very well see that being the case for Cooper Flagg, but we don't necessarily know for sure. It's a very different situation. The Lonzo Ball walked into the Lakers, and the Lakers were a very mediocre team at the time. It's not like they had great assets during those moments. And then you look at the Dallas Mavericks. Well, Dallas were in the playing tournament last season, and they've got Anthony Davis, they've got Klay Thompson, they've got very, very great veterans. D'Angelo Russell is also on the Dallas Mavericks, so it's not like he's going to be left in the dust in terms of talent. There will be talent around him that can help him and push him and motivate him, as well as teach him certain ways to play the game of basketball. So it's a bit of a different circumstance. Obviously, the hype is relatively different as well. Cooper Flagg, I think personally, is going to have a great season for the Dallas Mavericks. I look at his game, and to be honest, I don't see many weaknesses there. I think he's a very good scorer. I think he's a very good defender. I think he plays his position very, very well. And I think he's going to come into the league and be a jack-of-all-trades sort of player in his very first season. I think he knows the basics very well, and I think he can execute the basics very well, which is pretty much all I expect from him in that first season. I don't expect all-star status in year one. I don't expect 20 points per game in year one. I don't expect him to come out and bring Dallas a championship in year one. And anybody that does think that, I don't truly think knows the game of basketball that well. It takes a mountain of talent. It takes a monster talent in order to get to that sort of status. So, you need to be well aware of that if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan and an NBA fan at that. My question is, how is Cooper Flagg going to handle this season? And what I mean is, there are certain directions that Cooper Flagg can take for the Dallas Mavericks. For example, a lot of the scouting reports I've read about Cooper Flagg is that he's very much a team-orientated player. He is a team now player. He will focus on the team. He'll do what the team needs to win. And a lot of people like that. But where Dallas is currently in their season, I mean, the jury is still out, but they don't have Kyrie. I don't see them being a championship team. There's also a lot of injury-prone players on that team. Cooper Flagg might have to take the reins early and become the main guy on the Dallas Mavericks at some point in the season. So which side is it going to be? Because I think, if everybody's healthy, you can allow Cooper Flagg to just be the team-friendly guy that can kind of do a little bit of everything for you, can help the team win in certain capacities, and doesn't need to take the reins straight away from the Dallas Mavericks. But if he's forced into that situation, what I want to know is, will he jump at that chance? If for whatever reason, Anthony Davis gets injured, and, that's obviously they're going to be their first go-to option. It's going to be Anthony Davis. Kyrie is out already. Klay Thompson, as good as he is, he's never been a first option on a team. So will Cooper Flagg jump at that chance to be a first option player for the Dallas Mavericks? Or will that first season be that learning curve in which he should have maybe become that first option straight away, jump at that chance and be the leader, but he doesn't necessarily grasp that? To me, that's going to define what is a successful season. It's not the stats. It's not the strengths and weaknesses of his game, because we can all clearly see he's a very talented guy, and sometimes talent will take time to develop in this league. But when push comes to shove, in order for Dallas to have a successful season, if there are injury concerns, if there are players that are currently not thriving for the Dallas Mavericks, can Cooper Flagg be the one to jump in there and become the first option? Take the initiative from the very get-go? Or is he going to be a player that will take a back seat for that first season, adjust to the NBA, and we can see what happened in his second, third, and fourth seasons? It's going to be an interesting sight, ladies and gentlemen. I think of Luka Doncic came waltzing into the league as the first option. You think of guys like, we can even say guys like Zion and Ja Morant walked into their teams as the first option. Will that be the same with Cooper Flagg? In a very much a more competitive team than those teams those players went to as well, can he waltz in, be the leader of the team, become that first option straight away? To me, that is what is the expectation. I expect Cooper Flagg at some point in the season, if there are injuries that I guess cannot be overcome for certain players, I expect him to jump in and be the leader from the very beginning. But we'll have to wait and see. That's my expectations. That's my expectations of Cooper Flagg. I don't really care if he averages 20 points or not. I expect him, when the time calls, to step up to the plate and become that leader and potentially that first option. Whether it's winning or losing, by the way, that to me is irrelevant as well. Because, if there are injuries for Dallas, they're probably going to lose regardless, whether Cooper Flagg is averaging 30 points or not. So it really is just about taking the initiative and becoming the leader. It's very similar to Victor Wembanyama, how he could adjust to becoming the first option straight away. Can he do that, or did he have to leave it for somebody else? I think he's shown that he could be a very valid first option and he could dominate. Cooper Flagg, in my opinion, that's what I'm looking for here. So, do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.